Alright, so we are back and we want to quickly move on to work on the server ID sidebar right here, right? So make sure that you have expanded your browser to so we can view the sidebar right here, right? So you can see if I try to bring it, you can see that it will just close out. Yeah, you see. So just make sure you expand it so that you can see the side. Alright, nice and clean. So now that we've been able to do that, I realized in the preparation of this video that I made some small mistake here. So you see this layout.tsx, you realize that it is inside the server ID folder here, the dynamic server ID folder right here. So what we just do is I'll just drag it onto the routes folder right here, right? So that it becomes main then routes, right? Then you have this routes right here, right? And then you have slash servers and then server ID. So inside the server ID, it's going to have its own layout right here like this. So layout.tsx, just like that. Alright, so now that we have this layout.tsx right here, what we quickly want to do right now is let us quickly come and say const. Okay, so let me just do refce. Alright, and then I'll say what server ID, just like that. So server ID layouts, just like that. Alright, so now that we've been able to do that, the next thing we want to do is we want to make sure that this is an asynchronous functional component right here. Then we want to make sure we are setting the children, and also we are setting the params just like this, right? Then we would come here and then apply the types to them, right? So make sure that the children has been set to react mode, just like that, nice and clean. And we'll make sure that the params right here, it has also been set to be what server ID. So here we see what params, just like that, right? And we set that to be server ID. Alright, so it's going to be an object just like this, the server ID. Right, then we set that to be string. Okay, nice and clean. So now that we have these bad boys all set up, right, the next thing we want to quickly do is we want to just come and make sure that we are checking if there's a user profile, right? Or if we are logged in, right? So, or if you are logged in and there is a user profile. So I'll say profile, then await current profile. So you can see the current profile, we just imported it like that. And let me just bring this here. Alright, so you can see it well. So inside this profile that we need to call, we just check. So we say if the profile doesn't exist, right, or if you can't find the profile, then we're going to simply return so redirect to sign in page, just like that. Alright, so now that we've been able to set this up, the next thing we want to quickly do is we want to come and find the server that belongs, or the server that we have inside the params, which is this one, right? Alright, so we say const service or server, right? Const server is equal to await, then db, then we import this db like that, and db.server dot find unique, just like that. Alright, and inside we would come and find it. Right, so we say where, and we want to check for it using the id. So we say what params dot server id, just like that. Alright, so now that we have that, we can see members. Then the members is going to be name, sum. Alright, so sum. Then inside we say profile ID has to be profile dot id, just like that. All right, so now that we have been able to check for the server um, using the profile id tool right here, right, what we want to quickly do is we want to check for it. So we say what if, so if the server doesn't exist, so if the server doesn't exist right here, what we want to do is we want to return the redirect. So redirect using next slash navigation. Right, so make sure you're importing it like that, right, nice and clean. And okay, it looks like this one wasn't imported, so let me just do that. All right, that should be imported like this right here. Right, and yeah, so redirects nice and clean. All right, so now that we've been able to work with this, the next thing we want to quickly do is we want to come here. Let me clean this and open it up. Then here we want to set the h to full, just like this. All right, so now that we have set the first div to be the class name of hfull, we want to now open up another div. We want to open up another div inside it, and we'll give it a class name. So class name of what? Hidden md flex. Oh, hidden md flex. So on smaller screens it has to be hidden. On the bigger screen it should be md flex, and then we say h full. Then we set the width to be what? 60. All right, set the width to be 60, and then we set the z to be 20, just like that. And let's come here and make sure that it's flex core, just like that, fixed, and insert y0, just like this. All right, so now that we've been able to set this up, we can quickly just come down here right below this and then set the main, and then this main is going to be what? So we're just passing the children prop right here. All right, so this is where our server page is going to be, right? This is where it's going to be, and then we are going to have like the sidebar right around this side. So I'll let you see how that works. Let's quickly start by doing our server sidebar, just like that. All right, and let's quickly just pass in the props. So server id, just like that, and we are going to just pass in this prop, and we just receive it from the server sidebar once we call it. All right, so params.server id, just like that. All right, nice. So let's quickly come inside our components right here, and we will create a new folder called server, right, or service, just like that. Right, now inside this new folder, or let's make it server, right, so it makes more sense. So inside this new folder, server folder that we just created here, what we want to do is we want to create a new file called server sidebar, like that. So server sidebar .tsx, just like that. So server sidebar .tsx, and inside the server sidebar you see what's refce, and we can just generate a quick component, just like that. Oh, it looks like it's taking some time. refce, still taking some time to load up. So yeah, okay, it's here. Then we do our server sidebar right? And yeah, let me quickly go back into the layouts.tsx and let's try to simply import it inside our layouts. Okay, I'm trying to bring it out. Okay, so it's here. I just hit enter and that should simply import it for us right here. All right, so let me cancel and then try to refresh so we see the difference inside application, right? All right, so as you can see, if I expand it right here, you can see that we have the we have this page right here, right, the server ID page, and we have what, the server sidebar. I don't know, for some weird reason we are not able to see the difference like really clear, right, because I've not added some stylings to it, right? But once I add those stylings, you see the difference, right? So but yeah, this is it. We have the server we are going to have the server sidebar right here, and then we'd have the page at the right here like that, right? So let me quickly, okay, 1 second. Okay, all right, so all right, so okay, I don't know why this is open. All right, so now that we have been able to get things done inside this layout, okay, it looks like we have some small error here. Okay, so yeah, that's simply because of this prop that we passed, right? So let's quickly take care of that. The first thing we want to do is we'll go inside this server sidebar right here. So inside this server sidebar right here, we want to come and uh, create an interface, right? So we say interface, so interface server sidebar props, server sidebar props like this. Then inside we set the server ID to be a type string. All right, set the server ID to be a type string, just like this. All right, nice and clean. Then the next thing we want to do is we want to come inside here and then accept it. All right, so we say server ID, but since it's not recognizing it, we just come and take this server sidebar props and then we just put it there, and then you can see that it has accepted it right away. All right, so you can see that the error over here has been gotten rid of. All right, nice and clean. So yeah, so now that we've been able to set this up, let me go into the server sidebar here. All right, let's make sure it's an asynchronous functional component, just like this. All right, now inside this server sidebar, we want to see const profile. It's equal to what, await current profile, just like that, right? And we will just initialize it like this. All right, now after we've been able to get the profile right here, we want to check for it as usual, right? So we can just say if the profile doesn't exist right here, what do we want to do? We want to simply redirect or return. So we return our redirect back to home using next/navigation, and yeah, so yeah, that's it. Then right after returning the redirect, after not finding the profile, we now want to be able to get the server so we can render it, right? So we can render like certain properties of it, right? So we can say const server and we equate it to what, db dot server, right? So db dot server, okay, I want the db to be imported, but it looks like it's still not okay. Oh, come on. So apparently, I don't know. Okay, it's here. So let's make sure it's imported. Let's make sure it's okay. Nice. So you have what? db.server, right? And find unique. So we open this up like that, and inside you want to check for where we are trying to find it. So inside we would say check the ID of the server by what the server ID that we pass through the props, just like this, right? Then what we want to do is, after we get the server, we want to make sure that we want to include the following inside the response. We want to include the channels, right? And we want to arrange them by they are created at in ascending order, right? So order by, right? And we can just do created at just like that in ascending order. So ascending order, just like that. All right, and we can just come here, right, and come and add. So we want to make sure that we are also including the members, right? Okay, so members, right? Then we will what include. So inside the members, we want to include the following, which is what the profile of, so the profile details of each member. So true, just like that. And we want to order by row and in ascending order, right? So come here, order by the row in ascending order, just like that. All right, so now that we've been able to get the servers right there, what we quickly want to do is we want to come and check if, so when we don't find the server, what do we want to do? So if, okay, it looks like the if snippet isn't showing up, so I'll just type it out. So if there's no server, what we want to do is we want to quickly return, so return redirect. So redirect, then boom, right, nice and clean, right? So now even though we have just checked for the server right here, I want us to be able to filter the channels by their types, right? So let us come here and see, so const what, so I want to say text channels, so text channels for instance. Then that one, I'll take the server, right? Then I'll check, I'll say, oh, server dot channels like this dot filter. So I'll just filter through, right? And I'll just open it up like this, right? Then inside I would say check for the channel, right? So check for the channel and make sure that you are matching the channel type. So you want to check for the channels and then make sure that you match the channel dot type to be what, to be equal to the channel type that we had created some time ago inside our Prisma client. Right here you see, right, dot what, dot text. All right, nice and clean. All right, so yeah, I want this, I want us to get rid of this cached. Okay, for some weird reason this is still showing the red line, but yeah, pretty much that should just do the job, right? That should just work it out. For some weird reason I want to write it again. channels dot filter, right? Yeah, let me try to reload the editor, and yeah, hopefully we should be able to get rid of this. So alright, so I reloaded the screen, and apparently the error still shows up. Let me quickly go up like this. Okay, so we can see that we have this db.server. We're actually performing the query, but we forgot to add the await right here. So after adding the await, it should basically fix that for us. Alright, so you can see that the error doesn't exist anymore. I'll just save, and it should simply do the fast refresh thing right here. So you can see. Alright, now let me quickly, before we proceed, let me just go back to the layout right here, and inside the main we forgot to add the needed class names. So what we'll do right here is we want to make sure that inside the main we apply what our h-full right here. So h-full, and we see that what on medium screens we want to apply what pl60, just like that. And right after that we should see the difference inside our application right here. So you see the sidebar difference right here. Alright, nice and clean. So now that we have that, we can now continue our filtering. So over here, let me just bring it here like this. I told you, don't forget. So yeah, nice and clean. So now that we have it like this, let's continue filtering our channels like this. So we have the text channel. I just copy that, and I'll just come here and change it to what audio, right? So I can say audio channels, and I can just look inside, check the channel type, make sure that it's equal to what audio, just like that. And the last one is what video channels right here. Let's continue to filter them. So we have what, okay, oh, copy, and I'll just paste that right here. So I'll just bring it down here, and I'll make sure it's a video, just like this, and I'll simply make this video just like that. Alright, so now that we have the filtered channels being applied, we can quickly continue to work on the rule. Right, so how do we also get the rule? We can come here, and you see what const rule, just like this, and we will just equate it to what server dot members dot find right here, and we can do it, we can get the rule just like this. So inside we see what member so inside the member we have what member dot profile id, then profile dot id, just like that. Alright, so now that we've been able to get or match the rules just like that by each member, what we want to quickly do is we want to come inside here. I'll quickly clean this out, and I'll open up the brackets. Then inside I would say div, then inside this div I would pass in what another component. But before that, let me just come and apply some really cool class names right here. So inside I would say flex and flex cool, just like that, and h full like this, and then text primary like that, and width full, just like that, dark So I want that one to come to the side here, right? So I'll take dark. Then I want to make sure that I set the color to be this one, which is what 282D, right? And 31, just like that. And that should quickly set up our dark background for us. All right, nice and clean. So let us quickly move on to the next one. All right, so we can quickly move on. Let's also make sure that we apply the color for the background color for like the normal theme. So I'll just say what BG, and then I'll set the background to be, so I'll say what F2, so hash F2, F1, F3 and F5. So F3 and F5, just like that. All right, so now that we have that, we can just come here and then apply the server header right here. So it's going to be a component, so you see server header just like this, server header just like that, and we'll quickly create that component right here. So inside, I'll just come here and then create a new file, and I'll say server header just like this .tsx, just like this. All right, and then inside this server header.tsx that we have right here, I will just do refce, and okay, it's also wasting time to load up. Okay, it's here. Then I'll just do what server header just like that, nice and clean. All right, so now that we have the server header set up right here, we just want to get rid of the error by coming back into the server sidebar and importing the server header just like that. All right, so now that we've imported it, we should be able to get rid of this error right here. All right, so yeah, that is it. So yeah, let us quickly move on to into the server header, right? But I need this to load up. Okay, so inside this server header, we want to make sure that we are passing in certain props by default. So I'll just say server, and I'll pass in the server prop just like that. Then I'll say what row, and I'll just pass it inside like this. All right, so being able to pass these variables in, we will be able to collect them through our interface and the server header props right here, and then we can use it inside our application, right? So inside this inside the server header props right here, let's quickly work on it real quick. All right, so before we can get to work on it, we need to set up a certain type, right? So how we are going to set up that type is, I'll just come outside inside the root of our project right here, and I would say something like types.ts. All right, nice and clean. All right, so inside this types.ts, what we want to do is, you see, when we pass in the server like that, there's a certain kind of way. You see how we perform the queries here? That's not how the servers are displaying the items, right? How it just displays is totally different. This is like a custom query. We are including stuff inside, right? So the way the data is going to come out is going to be very custom. So we want to be able to set up a type for our interface in such a way that once we apply it to the interface for the prop, and we are trying to display the data inside, it will be very intuitive and easy for us to know which data is coming out and like how to display it, right? So let us go into the types.ts right here, and I'll just export. So I'll say export type, right? And I'll say what server with what, so server with members, with profiles. All right, so that it matches the query that we queried, the query that we made to get the server, right, including all the extra details that we added to the response. So server, so this server we are going to import it from our Prisma client, right? So nice. So we just imported that, and we see what, so bring the ampersand, then inside we open up and then say members. The members is going to be the type of members, just like so, member, just like that, and that's also going to come from the Prisma client. And we just open up this object right here and see profile is going to be what, this profile from the Prisma client. So profile Prisma client, just like that. All right, so now that we have been able to set that up, I'll just come here, and yeah, that should basically do it. All right, so now that we've been able to set up this really cool and nice looking type right here, we are going to quickly use it inside our server header right here. So inside, let me go into the server header right here, right? So inside the server header, let's start by creating the interface that we need. So I'll say interface server header props, just like that. And then inside, I'll say we want the server to be, we want the server prop to have the type of what, server with members and profile. So you see, nice and clean. So if I try to open, so let me show you what I'm trying to say. So inside here, I'll just take the server header props, just like that. And if I try to, so let me simply just log out. So I'll say server dot, so you see when I hit server dot, okay, yeah, I didn't pass it inside here. Yeah, so server dot, so if I hit server dot, you see that we have all these other options. If I enter members right now, I can see exactly what would be inside, like the extra members. If I say channel, for instance, or if I say so for instance, right, I can see what dot members dot profile. Oh, it's slowed down, it just slowed down. Okay, dot profile. All right, so see, so you see right here, right, we have all these other stuff that we can do with the member, with the member type right here, right? All right, cool. So now that we've been able to set up that, we can just come here and set the row to, and that row we are going to get it from here. So we set the row like this, and it will be what, member row, just like that. You would understand what I mean. I just need us to implement it, and then while we are implementing it, you see the difference in what I was trying to show you. Alright, so over here, right, we are not going to work on this yet. The first thing we want to do is we want to do a few checks. So the first check is we want to check for is admin. So it's admin right here. So const is admin, then that is going to be what, row. So we want to match the row to be member row, right? If you remember that enum that we created, so member row dot what, dot admin. So if you remember that enum that we created, right, dot admin, and then we want to check for the is moderator. So we say is moderator, just like that. That is going to be row is equal to what, member row dot moderator. So moderator, just like that. All right, nice and clean. So pretty much now that we've been able to set up both of these checks. Let me correct the spelling. Nice and clean. Right, now that we've been able to set up the checks, let's now quickly start creating our server header right here. So, oh, up to now this hasn't loaded still. Let me come here and make sure that we have imported it the right way. Okay, we just imported the server header in the right way, and you're actually passing in the rule the right way too. Okay, let me just localhost 3000. Alright, let's enter the server header right here. Yeah, so yeah, that's it. We're actually getting both of what we need. So I wonder where this is coming from. So yeah, I don't know, it's still compiling. Let me just pause the video. Why is it still compiling? So yeah, okay, it's here. All right, but we have the rule, so I don't know why. Yeah, rule. Let me see. It said undefined is not signed to the member rule. Wow. Let me see. Let me try adding that width to see if it will work, because it can be undefined. We should be able to get what we are looking for. Okay, just so we can get rid of the error, for now I'll just apply an any type to it, and it should get rid of the error right here. Alright, so yeah, after being able to get rid of the error right here, let me just go into the server header here, and inside we are just going to work on the stylings, right? So this return, so inside the return, what we quickly want to do is we want to now use our drop down menu right here. So I'll tell you what, drop down menu, and make sure you are importing it from the UI / drop down menu, just like that. All right, and yeah, right, nice. So inside this drop down menu, then we want to set up what, the drop down trigger. Alright, and inside the drop down trigger, let's make sure that we are adding the necessary class name. So class name, and then we'll see what, focus. So on focus, we want to set the outline to what, none, just like that. Alright, and we can set it to be as child, just like this. Alright, so nice and clean. Then inside this drop down trigger, we want to now create a button. Right, so this is the button right here. Then this button inside, we are going to simply pass in the server name. So server.name right here. Server.name right here, and we can just pass in with the icon that we want to use, and we are going to say chevron down, and that is going to be coming from what? That's going to be coming from our Lucid React. So chevron down, I expect it to load up, so we can just import it. Alright, so you can see it's here, nice and clean, and it should just be formatted nice and clean together with the server name, right? So it will just show up right here. Alright, so now that we have that, let's just apply the necessary class names to it. So over here, I'll just come and say class name, right? And inside I'll set the height, so I'll say h5 with 5 ml02, so that it automatically, like, it goes to the right of it, right? All right, nice and clean. So all right, so I can save that, and let me try to refresh. You would see that the server name should be right here, and yeah, you should see it right here, right? Okay, so it's still wasting time, so let's just style the button right here. So I'll give it a width full, just like that, and text md, font semibold, right? px3, flex, item center, where, so item center h12, border neutral 200, border neutral 200, and I have what? Whenever we're on dark screens, so you can see it's showing up right here, right? So whenever we're on dark screens, we want to give it a border neutral 800, right? So border neutral 800, just like that. Alright, so right after that, we want to come here and give it a border button right here, so border b2, just like that, and we can just hover bg zinc, just like that, bg zinc 700 over 10, just like this, and we would set the dark hover, so dark hover bg, right? So whenever it's dark and then we hover over it, we want to set the background to be what? Zinc, so zinc 700 over 50, so zinc 700 over 50, just like that, and we can apply our transition to the button just like that. Alright, so now that we have that, we just save and we can just refresh, and everything should look real cool, right? Okay, so for some weird reason, everything has just started acting slow and all, but we'll be able to get through with it. So yeah, so now that we have been able to style the button, what we want to do is we now want to be able to show the content whenever we click on the button, right? So so for that, we can just come to the drop down menu trigger down here, right? So the drop down menu trigger right here, and inside we can just say drop down menu content, right? So drop down menu, so you can see nice and clean, see it's right here, right? So drop down menu content, right? Let's make sure we are importing that. But remember, so UI slash what? Drop down menu, always remember. So you can see UI slash drop down menu, just like that over there, right? So yeah, now inside the drop down menu content right here, what we want to quickly do is we want to give it a class name, so like a bunch of class names. So I'll say class name just like that, and the first is we want to give it a width of 56, so width 56 just like this. Then we want to give it a text xs, so text xs just like that. And then we want to see that the font of it is going to have to be medium, okay, and we give it a text black, so text black like this. All right, then we make sure that we set it to, so whenever we are on dark screens, we want to make sure that this text neutral with 400, just like that. All right, then we want to give it what, a space y 2 pixels, just like that, right? 2 pixels, just like that. All right, so yeah, I just corrected this, so we just got rid of the error that we had, right? So inside this drop down menu content that we have right here, what we quickly want to do now is, oh, what's the error again? Just copy this and paste it right here, and wow, so it's surprising because NextJS doesn't behave like this when I'm just developing with it, right? But I don't know, it's like anytime I'm recording, it just has to find a way to look slow and all that stuff, right? But yeah, let's just continue. So now that we've been able to set up the menu content, what we want to do is we just want to come here and write certain conditions, right? So let me just copy this, close it, open this, paste and enter. Right, so we should be able to load it up. So inside I'll say as moderator, so we want to check, so we want to make sure that whenever the user that is signed in is a moderator, right, we want to render the following. So we want to set, so we say drop down menu item, just like that, right? Drop down menu item, make sure that we are importing it. Okay, for some weird reason it's okay, but we still need to import it, so I'll just copy that and I'll go above, I'll just import that, right? And inside this drop down menu item right here, oh come on, so yeah, inside this drop down menu item, what we want to do is we want to say invite people, so the moderator can invite people, just like that. And we can add an icon right beside it, so we say what, user plus, just like that. That is going to come from Lucid React, just like this. And over here I'll just add a class name so we can style it nice and clean. So the class name is going to be what, h4 and what, h4 width 4, so give it a width of 4, and we make sure that it's what, ml auto, so that it goes to the far right. All right, so ml auto, just like that. All right, so I can click, and yeah, once the change has been done, you should see it right there. But yeah, let's come and then apply the class name to the drop down item so that we can see it nice and clean. All right, so we have text indigo. So for that particular one, we want to make sure that the text is indigo, just like that. So indigo 600, right? And we want to come and give it, so whenever we're on dark screens, we want to set the indigo to 400, right? So we say dark indigo 400, just like that. All right, and inside here, so you can see right here, so inside here you want to come here and say that what px is 3, then py should be 2, and then text sm and what cursor pointer, just like that. All right, so yeah, now that we've been able to set this up, if I just refresh, I just saved. If I just refresh, we should be able to see the results, but my guess is it's just going to load up and load up and load up. But yeah, since it's going to keep loading up, let's just continue with the rest, right? So I'll just copy this moderator and then I'll paste it right here. So I'll just change this to admin. So we want to check for admin now. So if the user is an admin, which automatically means that like the user is at the same time a moderator, right? What do we want to do? Let's first of all clear the dark indigo and the text indigo from here, like that, right? You can just bring everything back nice and clean and save to easily format it. Right, nice. So we have this nice and clean done, and right after that we can just come here and you see this icon. We are just going to change it to what settings right here, and then this settings you are going to have to import from Lucid React. All right, but it's not showing up because the PC is slow again for some weird reason. I just copied it, but here let's change this to what manage, or let's make it server settings. So server settings, just like that, right? And let's go to the top and import it like that. All right, and let's come down, and inside here you can just come and copy that, paste it right under it. And the next thing we want to do is we want to set up the one for manage members. So the same as admin right here, admin should be able to manage the members. So I'd say well manage members, just like that, right? Nice and clean. All right, so these ones stay just as they should, do not worry. And all we have to do is change this to what users, just like that. We import that from Lucid React, nice and clean, and we just come and select again. Oh, okay, so the editor is not responding. Okay, it's back. I'll just copy that, I'll paste it here, and we want to create the one for what create channel, and for that one a moderator can create a channel, right? So we say is moderator, we want to add what create channel, just like that. And then for that one we want to set the icon to be a what a plus circle. So plus circle like this, plus circle like this. If it's not going to load up for us to import it, I guess you have to do it manually. Alright, so you can see it's getting imported. Alright, so right after that we want to come again and copy this over one more time, and then we would say that okay, now let me do this here. So after the create channel right here, we want to come here and then check for moderator, right? So whenever there is a moderator, what do we want to do? We want to set the drop down separator, right? So this one we say what drop down separator, just like that. And since it's not coming for us to import it, I'll just copy that. So drop down menu separator, I'll just copy that right here. Just copy that right here, and I will quickly import it from the top right here. All right, trying to refresh. Right, so we have the drop down menu separator right there, right? And over here, what we want to do is I just add is admin, but I can just copy this and then paste it right at the bottom right here. Now add is admin. So when we check and the user is an admin, what we want to do is we want to change it to what? We want to change it to delete server. Delete server, just like that. And we want to import the trash icon from using React, just like that. This name actually, yeah, okay. I thought I had misspelled it, but yeah, that's correct. Oh, it still hasn't imported. Okay, we'll check that and check that real quick. Let us come here and set the text to be rows. What? So set the text to be rows 500, just like that, right? And px3 and the rest, right? And what we do is we just come down here and we add one last thing, and that thing is we want to say leave server right there. So leave server. So for that, we want to just check if the user is not an admin, right? So right here we say what? Leave server right here. So leave server, just like that. And yeah, so leave server, and all we have to do is to set it to be what? Log out. And that is going to be coming from Lucid React. Alright, okay, I'll just copy that and I'll import it from here. Alright, so now that we have that, I'll just refresh and we should be able to see the changes. Okay, but since it's kind of wasting a lot of time, I'll just pause the video, make sure that the results have shown, and once it is done, I can just pause, I can just resume and look at it, right? Alright, so this is the results that we have, and as you can see, we are not seeing the other icons, and that is because probably we've not been able to detect the rules, right? So what I'll do is I'll just go to the server sidebar right here, and I think oh yeah, so I just remembered. So we have row, and this row we are just going to access it by doing this. So dot row, just like that, and yeah, we should be able to get the row, right? So once we pass it inside, so let me just refresh. Let me just refresh, just like that. Okay, let me enter here so we can see what is going on. So this is what server settings, manage members right here. Let me see something. It says what? Member role undefined. Let me just clear this and see. Okay, but it's like I can't access it directly like that too. So I'll just go back into the rule right here. So I'll just go back into the header right here, and I'll just set this rule to be optional, and that should do it. But let me see, we have more things that we need to show, which is what is moderator. So once it's set to as moderator, we should be able to show uh, certain details, right, that an admin can basically see, right? So we have what so we should be able to see the create channel and all that stuff, right? So let me quickly pause the video and look around it, and then once I'm able to figure it out, we'll just get back to it. Okay, so I realized that we didn't perform one check right here. So we want to make sure that if you're a moderator, you can be like an admin and at the same time be a moderator. So it's like, so you being an admin automatically makes you a moderator, right? So yeah, that is the check that I had to make. And so yeah, if we, okay, it looks like I have to save it. Yeah, so you can see that we have what invite people right here. We have what the other ones, which is the server settings, right? So we have the server settings, and the other ones like the manage members and all that stuff, right? Nice and clean. All right, so yeah, that is basically it. That is basically it for setting up this model right here. All right, so yeah, so hopefully thank you very much for getting to this part of the video that had to do with the server sidebar, and hopefully I'll see you in the next